It was a night like any other, but my world was about to be flipped upside down. I had everything anyone could ever wish for: a high-paying job, a luxury car, an apartment that screamed success, and a family that had always made me feel like I was their pride. But that night, my life took a turn I didn't see coming. My name is Evan, and I come from a family where wealth was everything. From an early age, I had been conditioned to believe that money was the key to everything. My parents, wealthy entrepreneurs who built their fortune from scratch, always made sure I understood that there were no shortcuts to success. However, they also instilled in me a certain set of beliefs about what kind of people deserved my attention, who was worthy of my love, and most importantly, what a perfect woman should look like. It was these beliefs that led to a single, heart-shattering moment, one that I could never have predicted: meeting Amelia. I first met Amelia at a corporate event. She was different. Unlike the polished women I was used to seeing at social gatherings, Amelia had a quiet confidence. She wasn't trying to be the center of attention. Her beauty wasn't the kind that demanded loud applause, but there was something undeniable about her. Her eyes, those deep, soulful eyes, seemed to look right through me. It wasn't her designer dress or the way she carried herself that caught my attention. It was the way she made me feel alive. Amelia wasn't from my world. She was a teacher, someone who worked hard and lived modestly. She didn't care about designer bags or expensive vacations. She valued genuine connections, something I had never truly understood until I met her. I spent weeks getting to know her, and every conversation left me wanting more. She told me about her childhood, her dreams, and her passion for teaching. I found myself falling for her, more deeply than I had ever fallen for anyone before. But there was a dark cloud hanging over our relationship: the judgmental opinions of my family. The family's opinion. My family never liked her. From the moment they met Amelia, they dismissed her as nothing more than a wallet with legs. To them, she was a woman who was only interested in me because of my wealth. They didn't care to see who she really was, what kind of person she was. They saw her as a means to an end, an opportunity for me to show off my taste in women. I tried to ignore their comments at first, but the whispers grew louder. "She's just here for the money," my mother would say. "She'll never fit in with us," my father would add. It hurt more than I cared to admit, because I knew deep down that Amelia wasn't like that. She wasn't like the others. But my family's words stung, and they made me doubt everything I believed about her. Slowly, I started to believe the things they said, even though I didn't want to. The turning point. One evening, after a particularly hurtful dinner with my family, I decided to confront Amelia. I needed to know the truth. Was she in it for my wealth, or did she truly love me? I picked her up from her apartment, her eyes filled with excitement when she saw me. But I was distant, colder than usual. I drove in silence, the tension between us growing thicker by the second. When we arrived at the park, I parked the car and turned to her. "Amelia, I need to know something," I said, my voice cold. "Are you with me for the money?" She looked at me, her face pale, her lips parted, and I saw the hurt in her eyes. "Is that really what you think of me?" she asked, her voice trembling. I didn't know how to answer. Her reaction only confirmed what my family had been telling me. But as she stood there, tears welling in her eyes, I realized something I had been refusing to see. I had been allowing other people's opinions to control my own. I had been afraid to trust her, afraid to love her without fear of what others might think. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "I can't do this," I said. "I can't be with someone who doesn't fit in with my family." Her expression crumbled, and in that moment, I saw her for who she truly was, a woman who had loved me unconditionally. She was hurt, but she didn't fight back. "Then maybe we need some space," she said quietly, turning to walk away. And just like that, I let her go. The consequences. I went back to my family, and for a while, I tried to live the life they had always envisioned for me. I went on dates with women who fit the mold my parents had built for me. But something was missing. I could have any woman I wanted, but none of them made me feel the way Amelia did. None of them cared for me the way she had. Weeks turned into months, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I had made the biggest mistake of my life. I called her a few times, but she never picked up. She had disappeared from my life, and I had no way of finding her. And then one day I got the news. Amelia had been offered a teaching position at a prestigious school in another state. She was leaving, and I had lost my chance forever. The revelation. It was months later when I received a letter from Amelia. She didn't want anything from me. She didn't want money. She didn't want my family's approval. She simply wanted to say goodbye and thank me for the time we had spent together. She had met someone else. Someone who had seen her for who she truly was, someone who appreciated her for everything she had to offer. And that was when I realized the depth of my mistake. Amelia had been the one person who had ever truly loved me, and I had let her slip away because I was too afraid to trust her. My family had poisoned my mind, and I had allowed them to control my life. The final twist. A year later, I was at an event when I saw her, Amelia. She was standing across the room, her eyes scanning the crowd. She looked as beautiful as ever, her smile as radiant as I remembered. I walked over to her, my heart pounding. "Amelia," I said, and she turned, her eyes widening in surprise. She didn't say a word. Instead, she took a deep breath and smiled. "I thought I'd never see you again," she said, her voice steady. "I messed up," I said, the words tumbling out before I could stop them. "I should have trusted you." She nodded, her smile fading slightly. "You didn't, and that's okay. But I'm happy now, Evan. I've found someone who sees me for who I am." And as she turned to walk away, I realized that the love I had once had with Amelia was gone, replaced by a feeling of regret that would never go away. But one thing was certain. I would never let anyone control my life again. Conclusion. This story is a reminder that true love cannot be dictated by the opinions of others. When we let external pressures control our relationships, we risk losing the one person who truly cares about us. So, if you've learned something from my story, don't let fear or doubt stop you from loving with your heart. And remember, endless love stories will always bring you the stories that matter. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you believe in the power of love and second chances.